Thanks for joining me today on episode 10 of the show. Today's guest is our first female guest, Alison Zeiselmeier. So Allison is a mother, a taxidermist, an angler, hunter, homesteader, and all-around outdoorsman. She is an incredible bow hunter and developed her love for archery in her early 20s. She opened her taxidermy business, Zeiselmeier Taxidermy, in 2021, which allows her to pursue her love for wildlife and art. So Allison is a big believer in being a capable individual and personally enjoys knowing how to hunt, grow, forage, and prepare and sustain food for both herself and her son. Enjoy the episode. All right, guys, we're live. Allison.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, absolutely. Super excited to talk with you. We have not had a female on our show yet, so you were the first one.
Breaking the ice.
That's it. Getting started. So I've known you for a little while since we started the archery thing here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I've made all of our friends, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
The archery community has really introduced me to a lot of great people, and you being one of them.
Yeah.
And you're fresh back from Virginia.
Yeah.
Just moved back?
Just moved back in end of March. I moved back.
End of March.
Yeah.
Wow. And I remember, what you had going on out there was the mountain. We was in the mountains, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Back to the East Coast.
It was beautiful up there, but time to come home. So.
Jacksonville area seems to be like a black hole.
It does.
It always pulls you back.
Yeah. I think it's just, like southeastern North Carolina in general.
Yeah.
Home.
Yeah, home. Yeah, for a lot of us.
Yeah, but I'm out in Beulahville now, right by Mike's farm, and it's quiet out there. And then you just go a couple miles and you're back to civilization.
Yeah, it's nice. That's why, because we're out there too. I mean,
that's right.
I love it out there. Yeah, so it's nice because you're not too far away from anything, but you are kind of out and away, and it is quiet, farmland. Yeah, it's a good little mix. But unfortunately, as much as Richlands is coming up, there's a lot of subdivisions coming up, which
there is.
I'm not excited about.
No, it keeps getting closer.
Yeah, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So you have a very extensive your whole life has been outdoors. I mean, hunting, fishing, homesteading.
Yeah.
Taxidermy now. I mean, you're very, very well versed in the outdoor world, more so than a lot of men that I know. With the skills and the capabilities that you've developed over all these years, which it's always fun to watch your social stuff, the stuff that you put out there, all the things that you're doing, especially with your son and everything. You're constantly doing things outdoors, which is refreshing to see, right?
Yeah,
a lot of kids.
It's great to bring him with me now. Now that he's at that age, I could take him with, and he's not like a little baby you got to carry around, or he could help.
Right. Yeah. You can put him to work.
He can help me now. Yeah.
Cause you've got all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, I know whenever you're up in Virginia, you guys had, you had gardens, you had chickens.
Big garden, chickens, ducks, pigs, goats.
Constantly working in the dirt.
Yeah.
So are you doing the same thing here?
So my new place is set up for that. This is the first time in my adult life that I've not had chickens.
Oh man, dude, chickens are the answer. I love my chickens.
The staple of homesteadery. And I have a garden. I just haven't worked the ground for it yet.
Okay, so it's in the works then.
It is.
I figured with you that that would be.
It won't be
soon.
long. Yeah.
So how did you get into the outdoors? As involved as you are, because it's not like you just dabble and you go outside and take pictures in it. You live the life of an outdoorsman, outdoorswoman, whatever you want to call it. I mean, all encompassing, all of it, not just one aspect. I mean, your life revolves around it. So how did you get introduced to the outdoors to the extent that you are?
I would say, both of my parents, I was just outside kid all the time. At my dad's house, we had horses and goats and chickens and just outside all the time.
And
camping.
Your dad's awesome, by the way.
My dad is awesome.
Yes, I miss seeing him.
He's a cool dude. So he would take me fishing all the time. My mom would take me hiking and backpacking and camping, and we'd get to a campground and just go explore, go find a snake, go do something outside. And I just always loved it. And I think that, and it's always been big, on both sides of my family. Generationally, like my great grandparents were outdoorsmen and hunters, and so I don't know. I think that if I'd even grown up in the city, I probably would have got to the woods as fast as I could.
Wandered back somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool because, I mean, there's so many people nowadays who just, I mean, they haven't, been introduced at an early age. I mean, we've had kids come to the house, because my dad's got his stuff going on at their property with their little farm that they've got going on. And there's kids that come out there that have, they had, I believe at some point they had some kids that had never really even, they were from the city and they had come, they had never even stepped on barefoot on grass, which is wild to think that there's some people out there that just haven't.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
It is crazy to think,
it's
right?
wild to think about that's, and it's sad, honestly, because I think that's like essential to being human, being a person, right? It's like where we come from, and it's sad to see that we're so disconnected from like how we
the
became
basics.
People.
Yeah. I think that's one of the big things, especially with the hunting side of things, which is so important. And a major aspect of it for myself and with my kids is getting them out there and getting them in the woods. One, it's fun, right? You go outside, there's always something to see or do, and learn. And then on the hunting side of it, it's a great skill to have. One, hone in on your woodsmanship skills.
Yes.
And then the actual hunt itself, whenever you are successful, the kids, they get to see where things actually come from. And it's not just as pretty as you think it is and prepackaged like you see in the stores, right? There's a process to it. I think it's important.
It is. It's not, and that like once you take an animal's life, that's when it starts.
Right.
Like, yes, all your pre-season scouting, all of your preparation, your practice, that's all very important. But once you make that move and you take that animal's life, it's like that's when the rest of it, like, starts. The other 75% of the work.
Right. Yeah. And it's, for us, especially with the kids, it's always been important that the kids are respectful, right? Mm-hmm. I've never let them take these crazy pictures with dead animals.
That's so important.
And, just have them respect all life, essentially, right? I think it's, some people forget that you are taking something's life. And then it comes down to like, with them learning to process it, because we do all the processing and stuff ourselves, just because I want them to know. And if they shot it, they're doing the work, right? They're hauling it out.
Doing it.
They're breaking it down.
Yeah.
I think it's just important that they see that and know, because William right now, William's 6, he's about to be 7.
6 already.
Yes. Which is crazy. And his big thing is like, he'll eat anything that grows outside, right? Out of the garden, right? And then he'll eat like chicken nuggets. Like that's it. But more recently he goes out and he's like, I want to try that bird. We need to shoot that bird. I'm like, bro, we can't just go around killing everything.
Cardinal, man.
Yeah, we're not doing that. It's funny, but
that's great.
It is. But he lives for the outdoors.
That's cool.
I think it's important.
And your boy Gavin,
dude.
How many deer did he shoot last year?
He shoots I think he shot 2 or 3 last year.
That's awesome.
Well, and this year he wants to do the bow hunting thing, and I'm dragging my feet on it because I need to get him a bow set up because he outgrew his bow. He needs a new one. But I'm excited for that because I'd love to be able to, because we go out and he'll take the rifle out.
Yeah.
But I want to put him on a bow, right? Which is a whole nother different.
It's a whole other thing.
Yes.
So I've killed all of the deer that I've killed except for 2 have been with a bow.
Wow.
So it was last season I killed a buck with a muzzleloader, which was my first muzzleloader shot. That was cool. Waylon was with me for the whole thing. And then the year before that, I took a doe with a 308.
So you've been around just about everything. So what, and since I've known you as a bow hunter, right? And what got you specifically into the bow hunting side of things? Because that seems like what you gravitate towards. When I think hunter and of you and hunting, I think bow.
The first train to hunt I did, I was 30, and Waylon, my son, he was 1, and I was having a hard time momming. Like, it was getting difficult for me. So Dad was like, I think it was like his last ditch effort to just help me pull my head out of my own ass, and he's like, "We need this," and I'm like, all right. I almost bailed on him a few times. But we did it. We placed, we were national qualifiers, and then, and we met like the best people. It it was like the best group of people and then we did it again. And then we teamed up again the second year, and then the third year we split. He did, I think it was the Masters. It's like men in his age group,
right.
And then I did the Women's Open, and I podiumed in all three.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, are they still doing those? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
I'm not sure.
I know COVID put a dampener on a lot of these
everything.
things. Yeah, it was a bummer.
Yeah, because we were going to have
Extreme Hunter Athlete
in Pennsylvania.
Yep, we were supposed to, and that's funny. I talked to Bill. We were just at TAC, and I ran into him. I met him for the first time, and it was really great to meet him.
He's a good dude.
He is. He was a very nice individual, and we were bummed, right? Because Extreme Hunter Athlete is something that I've always had a passion for.
Yeah.
Bow hunting and physical fitness, and Extreme Hunter Athlete was kind of our take on that locally for the community around here. And we did a couple of them, and they were good, and we were supposed to go to PA and host one, and COVID shut all that down. Yeah. And then after that, it was just, it's really been hard to kind of revive that thing, because it takes a lot of effort to set those up and do those.
Did that shut it down you didn't do any that year?
I didn't do anything that year.
Okay.
No, we did one more the following year, and we had a good turnout with it. But again, it's difficult finding properties.
Sure.
Logistically setting it all up, getting people involved, because it's a very niche thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Bow hunting and physical fitness.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to.
Yeah, there's not a lot that do it. But they did have something here locally. I think it was the Frogman. Yep. Yeah. For one of the seals that was killed. I don't remember exactly, forgive me, what all involved, but they hosted that this year here in Jacksonville, and it was supposed to be a really good turnout.
Yeah, there was a guy at the shoot this weekend
that did it.
Yes. And he was talking about it, that it was pretty cool.
Yeah, which is awesome. It's cool to see those things just for the bow hunting community in general, doing things that are different and outside the norm to get more people involved.
Yeah, I think that's the name of the game.
It is. It's important.
Build the community.
Build the community, which is tough.
Yeah, it's tough. But once you get your foothold in it, and I think it could take off.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the female side of things with the bow hunting world, or honestly anything outdoors now, right? Everything is very trendy. Yeah. There's a lot of people who look like they do it, and then there's people that actually do it, right? It's all about a following and a like on social media these days, it seems like, and it's really hard to find great information and good information even. But so I've never considered you what they, coined the term huntress, right? Yeah. But always a legitimate outdoorsman and a hunter is what I've always known you as, and felt like you are a legitimate individual who belongs in the woods and could honestly offer a lot of great advice. So, and I know that, everyone's trying to do their thing to drum up awareness, but I don't know that it's always great, a great look. But what is your personal thoughts on the huntress side of things?
I think that there are women in the outdoors who are authentic about it. I think that, and I think equally there are women in the outdoors who are not authentic about it, or just they'll put hunting and fishing in their bio and don't do any of it. But then there's the women that use their assets, their physical appearance for in the outdoor world for likes and loves, and you click on their LinkedIn and they've got an OnlyFans page, and whatever, to each their own. I don't care for it personally. I think that it takes credibility away from women who are actually in the outdoors and who have, put the work in to be taken seriously. And I think that it's not a good look in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it does, speaking as a male on this particular subject, I think it does, like you said, discredit the ones that really do live the lifestyle.
Yeah.
But I see it a lot with companies, right? Keying in on followings, which is important as a brand, right? Because you're trying to generate brand awareness and things like that. But I don't necessarily think it's the right approach to be taken serious with, whenever you look at some of these accounts and whatnot, and it's not promoting things in the correct manner necessarily.
Yeah.
Because a prime example is, we see a lot of sponsorships,
Yeah.
Right. And don't get me wrong, there are some out there that really do get after it and are legitimate as they come, more so than a lot of the guys,
Sure.
that really get out there and go after it. But some of them are, given opportunities for sponsorships or brand deals or stuff like that based solely on an appearance, in a pretend persona versus legitimacy.
Right.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, to each their own. I'm not going to bash these girls, but I don't care for it.
Yeah.
I think it does take away credibility for people who are really in it.
Yeah, because I agree. I think it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
But there's some that are a mix of both, right?
Right. There's the
walk
Hannah
the line.
Barons, she's I wish I was put together like that girl, but but she's legit. Like she's gorgeous, cute as a button. She's got this, deep Southern draw, and she's very. I'm sure she's done very well. She goes noodling. I would never do that. No, hard pass.
Yeah, I have no desire to do that at all.
None of it. None of that. She's tough as nails. She's legit. But she could play both sides of the fence.
Right.
She could.
Yeah. And like we said, there's both out there, but I think that there's some that, maybe not don't do it quite so well or elegantly, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
So as far as like your outdoor, your love for the outdoors, do you have a thing that you enjoy most with being, because you do homesteading, like we talked about. Yeah. I see you canning, you're growing vegetables, you fish, you hunt. Is there a favorite aspect of it that you just enjoy more so than the other?
I don't know. I would say it's all pretty equal. Like I like to be self-sufficient, and I like it. I'm a fan of the grocery store like every other red-blooded American, but I like knowing that if push came to shove, that I could be all right. I could grow and can and preserve my food and hunt my meat and catch my fish and clean them and cook them and confidently forage for mushrooms or whatever,
right.
And I don't know. I like being self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And I think that all goes hand in hand with hunting and fishing and growing. And
I think too, when people especially people that are new to it, when they get a taste of like one aspect of it, it kind of opens the doors to everything else. Cause you're like, wow, I enjoy this. Mm-hmm. There's, but there's a season to it. What can I do in the next season, in the off season? Yeah. And it really does open the doors for people and, gets them more curious about the other things that they can do outside.
Yeah. What can I do for myself? What do I have to what can I not rely on the government or, I think like if everybody would grow a little bit of their food, it would take so much pressure off of agriculture. It takes so much pressure off of the farming industry or, all these chicken houses and meat industries. The meat industry is disgusting.
Factory farm,
I love meat,
yes.
but the industry is disgusting.
Right.
Factory farming is horrible. So I think that if we all took a little responsibility in getting our own, it would be a little better on the backside.
It would. And the thing that makes that different, for us, we're in a great place right here on the coast. We got a little bit of property and stuff like that. But then you look at people that live in the cities and just just
can't do it.
I couldn't either. It's just so disconnected from that side of things.
Yeah.
Cause I got a good friend who lives up in New York City and he absolutely loves it. He thrives. That's what he does. And he really doesn't have a desire to this, but that's what he knows.
And I guess I say that if everybody took a little more responsibility, and I don't really think about that aspect, is that there's people that just can't
do it.
Won't, don't know how.
Yeah. Which there's a
they all go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do, and there's a lot of great resources out there to learn all these things, which is what makes it so cool.
There's like a whole side of social media
dedicated to it.
urban farming,
Yes.
you know?
That, which is really kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, some of the people that do stuff in their subdivisions or wherever they're at, where they're basically on top of each other.
Yeah, like
growing
rooftop chickens and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's wild.
happens.
Yeah, it's very neat to see. So whenever you're out hunting and stuff, and this kind of leads into it, are you hunting specifically for meat, or are you looking for the biggest deer you can? Do you have goals whenever you go out hunting?
So food is my goal when I hunt. And I think also what plays into that, I have to capitalize on a naive deer in the early season. It's just Waylon and I don't have and I think Levi touched on it too. Like, you got to make sure that your home life is in order before. I don't have the counterpart. So I either have to set up, go bug somebody about watching Waylon, or I got to take him with me.
Right.
So I just capitalize on the early season, especially now that I'm a taxidermist. Like, I won't have time to get into the woods in the middle of the rut. So now I'm taking them with me, but I shoot what I can.
And you use all of it.
Yeah, I'm making bone broth. I'm canning it.
You're canning it.
I can bone broth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you canned deer meat yet?
No, I've not. No, that's why we have freezers.
There we go.
I can't wrap my head around canning deer meat.
I've had there's people have said it's good.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing them.
Canning meat in general doesn't. It's doing.
Yeah.
But I don't feel good about it.
I don't
I'm
either.
not there yet in my canning.
Your journey?
Yeah, my homesteading self-sufficiency journey. I can't can meat yet. I just don't want to.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So you're hunting primarily. Are you also, aside from bow hunting, whitetail, are you doing any turkey hunting or not really?
No.
Primarily whitetail?
Yeah. Turkeys, I just don't know enough about it. I've been out a few times to hunt for turkey, unsuccessfully. I can't call to save my life.
Yeah, it's tough. I think Ruben had a good season this year.
Did.
Yeah, he's done good, man. He's come a long ways as far as he's quite the outdoorsman.
He
now,
is.
hunting everything.
Everything. Good for him.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
fantastic. I think I'll get after beaver this year as well.
Really?
Yeah. Beaver meat is, I'm sure people are going to have, I know, beaver. But so beaver meat is actually nutritionally superior to
really
any wild game. So it's 109 grams of protein per pound.
Wow.
Of beaver meat. And then all the minerals and fats, and
Is it a very fat, greasy? It's
not greasy. It's dense.
Is it?
Yeah.
Very rich.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? So you going out trapping?
I'm not going to trap. I'll shoot. I'll hunt beaver this year. Yeah, I won't trap them.
What's the strategy with hunting beaver?
I guess I'll sit and wait.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, are you hunting them here locally?
I am. Yeah, out in Chickapen. I have a friend that has property with beaver on it.
Really?
So yeah, I was like, well, all right.
Oh, wow.
We'll get after that.
So have you ever eaten the beaver tail?
I've not eaten the tail.
It's just fat.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I don't know. I've skinned them out.
Yeah.
And they're it almost looks like whitefish meat.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I don't know about the tail. But the backstraps and hindquarters.
Good.
Yeah.
Really?
Super good.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about that. I thought most people just trapped beaver for the most part.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you actively hunt them.
So in Virginia, I've been exposed to trapping beaver, and Waylon was all about it. He trapped himself a little muskrat, and but I don't feel confident setting traps.
Really?
Yeah, I'll feel like I'll lose a finger.
Yeah. Okay. I could see that. Yeah, I've never done any trapping whatsoever. Gavin wants to get into the trapping side of things.
Really?
He thinks he does. He wants to get into everything.
Okay. Yeah.
But so as far as a beaver goes, I mean, how much meat do you typically yield from that? I mean,
it depends.
Is it a good amount?
It depends on how big the beaver is. I mean, you'll trap little guys, and it's just backstraps and hindquarters, and then we trapped one. I think it was like 64 pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean the back straps were like a yearling.
Wow.
Like substantial.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's I mean, you get more than squirrel meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gavin likes to shoot squirrels.
So does Waylon. Had me on a
Gosh.
steady diet of squirrel last winter.
Yes. Yeah, that's how Gavin is. He's
Are
like,
you're eating them?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Gavin, he shot a handful of them.
Yeah.
And then he found this recipe on Facebook.
Heck yeah.
And so we're out there at night smoking these squirrels in like this, covered in mustard and this, I don't even know what the seasonings he was, but it ended up actually being really good. I was surprised.
Great.
But yeah.
I just crock pot mine.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the move.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No. Becca Garris on Instagram. She has a bunch of wild game recipes.
Really?
Yeah. So I follow her squirrel recipes.
There you go. Make it good. Yeah. I mean, and if you can get kids into it and they're interested in eating and trying, that's the move.
It's super great.
Yes.
It's super great.
They see beginning to end.
Yep.
And if they like it, that makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the things about deer, like our whole family likes it.
Yeah. That's important.
It is.
Uh-huh.
You know, because there's a lot of people that aren't willing to try things. Yeah. But, you know, I was very surprised when the kids at an early age were like, I want to try that.
I like
and then we're like, I like this.
Yeah.
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 Awesome.
Waylon's the same. Like deer and beaver are like he loves it. That's
Really?
like his favorite meat. Yeah.
Throw some French fries and some corn dogs or chicken nuggets in there.
No. No, he's pretty good about like, I mean, I don't know. He likes bread. He likes a lot of bread.
Oh, yeah, so does William. Toast. Yeah.
Stop it. Yes. King's Hawaiian.
Yeah, it is what it is. You know.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Gotta have his things.
That's right.
But he does. He likes the stuff out of the garden, and he likes the wild meat.
Yeah, that's awesome to be exposed to that.
Yeah.
Because that'll stay with him his entire life.
Absolutely. And this last buck that I shot in muzzleloader, he was with me. This is the first time, like I was completely by myself just with Waylon, and he was with me the whole time, like in the blind. He was like, oh my gosh, he showed up today.
That's awesome.
And then, you know, we tracked him, and I was a ways from the house, so I'm like, I gotta pull this thing out by myself. Yeah. So I just start. Waylon was so excited. He's shaking, and I'm like, you didn't even shoot it, and you're shaking like this. This is great. It was wild. And I was like, here, Waylon, here's a leg, and I start field dressing, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, he has yet to see this part of it, and I look at his face, and he's like, and I'm like, are you all right? He's like, yeah, this is just all really exciting, and I was like, okay, good. We're on the right track.
Yeah. Give me a knife. Let me dive in. Yeah. Yes. That William likes, he's like, I want to cut it too. I want to cut it.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, relax.
I had him carry the heart home because we eat the organs too. So I had him carry the heart home, and he was like, this is awesome.
This is the best. That's Gavin's favorite part of any of the animals that we've shot. Yeah. He always wants to eat the heart.
Yeah.
That's his
great.
Favorite part.
Super good for you. I think it's a fantastic way to honor the animal.
Yep.
Use all of it.
Yeah. He loves it. So you actually did a backcountry hunt.
Yeah.
On your own, which is crazy.
Yeah. It was guided.
It was guided, but you still went out west alone and just did the thing. How was that?
Yeah, it was a wild experience. It was so cool. So I ended up leaving a couple days early, and it gave me just time to F off across the country. I went the southern route. So I went like through Alabama and Texas and New Mexico, and then like up to Colorado. So Florence was coming in hot, Hurricane Florence, and it was either like I go early or I don't, because it was supposed to land the day that I was supposed to leave. So just the trip across country was wild by myself. It was like I planned it all out. I camped the whole way. New Mexico was just the wildest. It's like the coolest little stop that I had along the way. And then stayed in Cortez, Colorado for 2 nights, and then went to Dolores, which is in the southern San Juan National Forest, and got to my camp, and that was cool. That was a fantastic experience. We did some of it on horseback.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was neat.
So you had a campsite the entire time you were out there?
No. So it was like a lodge once once I got to Colorado, it was a lodge. And there was a bunch of other people that were staying in the lodge too. And then I'd link up with my guide in the morning and we'd get on horses and head up.
How was that?
It was awesome. So, the first morning, it's still dark. We get on horses on the trail and it's like, it's pitch black. Like it's the darkest dark.
Right.
And, we're on the trail and it's like your senses are kind of taken away from you when it's that. Like, we had headlamps, but we weren't using them. We were just kind of trusting the horses to get up the trail. And it was wild how like your sense of hearing, because you can't really see, your sense of hearing peaks. And so we're on this trail and I could tell that it's narrow because I can tell that there's land to my left and I could tell that there's nothing to my right. And it was like, just seemed like a drop, but I couldn't see. And I'm just like, you're just trusting the horse. And, you look up and there's just the blue spruce pines. They're just against the star sky. It was the coolest experience. And then on our way back down through that same, like in the afternoon our way back down through that same little path, I was like, wow, if we had misstepped.
That's the end?
That would have been a ways down.
Off of the mountain?
Yeah, into a river. It would have been great. What a way to go.
Yeah, exactly. What a way to go. So how long were you out there for?
I was out there for 7 days.
Wow, that's quite the trip. That's a lot of people's dream trip.
Oh, it was fantastic. I got so the last day, I think I was supposed to be out there for 6, and I squeezed like one more day out. And my last day there, I drove to one of the trailheads and hiked in with my fly rod, and I caught like a bunch of these like little tiny cutthroat trout, and I didn't keep any of them, but it was fun to just like walk upstream and
just the whole time out there by yourself.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an experience on its own. You hear most people going out west are going with a group, they're going out with some buddies.
Yeah.
But what made you decide to go out and just go do it?
Yeah, it was actually I had planned it to be the year prior. And this was actually a gift from my husband at the time. And he's like, you just go. And I'm like, okay.
See ya.
Didn't gotta tell me twice. Bye.
Yeah.
So I went out there and it was great. Just drove out. Well, I don't know. I never like thought like, oh my God, I'm doing this by myself.
Right.
This is scary. I've always been pretty confident, pretty good by myself. So it was just.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
To be able to do that and look back on it,
Yeah.
that's something to remember forever. What was the highlight of the trip for you?
Just everywhere I stopped, I met like the coolest people.
Yeah.
It was, like I ran into this one old guy around a campfire in Colorado, and we were talking about kids, and he had like a whole mess of kids. He was an older guy, and I was like, yeah, I got a boy, and he's like, oh, boys are tough. I'm like, yeah, boys are tough.
I don't know, man. I watch some people with girls. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, true. I'm so grateful I have a boy, though, honestly. But he's like, it'll be all right. You just buy him a good knife when he's 8 and
send him on his way.
Yeah, don't stifle his will.
Yeah,
he'll
exactly.
be fine. And I'm like, solid. So I did, and I do. So I try to live by that. And you just little puzzle pieces that built the whole trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you successful?
No.
So not in the aspect of actually the hunt itself.
Yeah. Oh, I came home with an empty cooler and a full heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was. I think. I don't know. I feel like I was more ambitious than my guide was. There was a lot of like, all right, well, we'll go here and then we're just gonna sit. And I'm like, I want to go find him. Like, let's go. I want to go. Like,
yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go find him. Let's call. There was a point, I think it was my second to last day. There was a point where I could hear a bull like just wrecking trees with his antlers and I couldn't see him, but if he had come out, I was like set up to where like I'd had a shot if he'd have come out.
He just didn't make his way that direction.
Mm-hmm. He just, I don't know, stayed in the timber. So
tucked away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough hunting because that was your first time ever out in the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I trained really hard for that, and we hunted a lot, like 11,000 feet. And I don't know. My guide was really, really nice, but I do feel like I was more ambitious. Like he had to rest a lot at 11,000 feet. Wow. He was an older guy, a little heavy set, and I was like in the best shape of my life, and I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, ready to get after it.
And he's like, we gotta wait.
You should have seen us walking up the mountain at TAC. Gosh, that was a trip. Yeah, I've never been out west or hunted out west. It's always something I wanted to do. I'm jealous. JR, I think, is heading out to Colorado actually this year. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, it's going to be a great trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you only get to do it once,
yeah,
totally worth it.
And even if you don't get anything, like just to be there is just so, special.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah. I mean, just when we were up in PA, and, just the different elevation and the opportunity, the scenery that was presented, the shot angles, because Eastern North Carolina bow hunting is not exactly strenuous when it comes to the actual hunting side. It's a lot of sit and wait, right? Strategic planning, knowing where they are. But as far as like actively getting after it and getting and breaking bush and, covering on a lot of ground, it's not that. No. And to me, hunting is, when I think a real hunter, I really think the Western guys, the Western girls, right, who are out there getting after it, covering a lot of ground, glassing, and just and putting in a lot of work. That's always appealed to me.
Yeah, it's not that here.
It's not that here. It's different. It's a different type of hunting. It's challenging.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It is very challenging. It's just different.
I think everywhere comes with its own set of challenges and.
Yeah, I agree. So did you guys cover a lot of ground when you were out there at least?
We did. I think some of it, we got rained on pretty heavy 2 days out of the week, which was cool. The whole experience was neat. But yeah, I think I had my Fitbit on. It was like 8 miles a day.
Okay, yeah, covering some ground.
Yeah.
What was the most important or, piece of kit or equipment that you had while you were there that looking back at now, you're like, wow, I wish I would have had that, or I'm glad I had that?
Good boots.
Yeah,
good boots. And rain gear.
Yeah. A necessity.
Good boots, yeah. I have a pair of Danners.
Okay.
That kept my feet really dry and warm, and they were comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to cover ground whenever you're broke off right away with sore feet or blisters.
It sucked. I just couldn't have done it.
We see that neglected even around here with people neglecting their feet. I mean, quality socks and footwear.
Yep.
I mean, especially being right around the military base, right? All the guys are constantly out rucking, covering a lot of distance with a lot of weight on their back. And we get a lot of the newer guys that come through whose feet are really broke down. And, then they end up investing in a good pair of boots and socks and realize how much of a difference it's really
so
made.
important. Like even like just the texture of socks. I did a 12-mile ruck in DC last year, the Go Ruck.
Yeah.
I did that with a couple of my girlfriends, and it was just so important to have like a good material sock.
Right. Merino wool, man, you can't beat it.
You can't. No. It's like, because if your sock is too rough, it's gonna hurt your foot.
Yes. Yeah, and also the merino wool, the fact that it doesn't hold odor makes a big difference, right? So base layers and stuff like that.
Right, base layers, that's really important too, because when I was out west, I didn't have an opportunity to wash my camo. Yeah. So like I'm just sweating.
7 days.
Just sweating in my stuff for 7 days, and it didn't smell.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I would never go back. If there's one thing I've learned over the last few years, it's just how important a good base layer is, and merino wool being the priority.
Right, and it keeps you dry. You don't like swamp up in it.
You don't. Yeah, it's moisture wicking, antimicrobial. I mean, it's an important aspect of being outdoors, especially if you're not going home at night.
Right, it's essential.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, if you had the opportunity to go back out west again, do you think you would go the guide route, or do you think you would do the DIY, do it yourself?
I think I'd do the DIY.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
full experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd probably just get into the San Juan and not come out for a week.
Yeah.
And just, either set up a base camp and.
Especially now with a little bit of experience that you've had. I mean, even though it's been a few years back, you have an idea what you're getting into.
Yeah. I still have all the maps.
Yeah. So you can go back prepared,
yeah.
right? If given the opportunity, one, knowing the gear that you need. Because I mean, that first one is always probably, I think anything you do is kind of an eye opener.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of winging it.
Yeah. Yeah. and if you go by yourself, I mean, and winging it could be very dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. I carried a sidearm the whole time, and because I don't know. You don't know.
Some predators out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't want to get caught by a cat. Like that was my worst fear. I mean, bears, I don't know. I don't want to fight a bear.
Right.
But
I don't know. Did you see the thing that's going around with women and bears or something in the woods?
Oh my God.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
It's like, would you rather be in a woods with a man or a bear?
I don't know. I mean, I've chased off some men and some bears.
There you go. Yeah, that's the thing about out west, man. The mountain lions and stuff.
I would not. I mean, I wouldn't want to cross a cat. Would probably be my biggest fear. Is running into a cat out there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you make a house cat mad. I mean, that thing's vicious. Now imagine.
Liquid hate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming at you with a knife tornado. I don't want it.
Yeah. So do you think you'll will make it back out west?
I plan to. I would really like to, when Waylon's older, I'd like to go out and, if he goes that route, if he finds it in his heart to go hunt elk. If he doesn't, cool. I'm going to take him with me. Right. But I'd like for when he gets older for us to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe when he's a young man.
Keep it like you guys have done with you and your dad, huh?
Yeah.
The trips. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's definitely a cool bonding experience, man. I'm super excited about getting my kids more involved as they age, doing things with them like that together. So this year being that first, like we talked about, bow hunting experience, I'm excited to do that with Gavin.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
And it like to do that with my dad and like be the child in that situation, it had changed the way I see my dad, like it in the best way, like just to, and you think like, oh, I've learned all these things from my parents, and then to like open another door into a whole other world of things that you can learn from your parent. Right. It was just the coolest experience, and I just hope that I can be that for Waylon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
something you'll never forget, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So moving on, and this is, like I said, you've done a lot of things. You have a lot of experiences in different aspects of the outdoor world in general. Mm-hmm. I mean, like we talked about, hunting, fishing, taxidermy. So as a woman in the hunting and outdoor world, have you come across any hurdles, like as far as being female, that have made it difficult for you, or? No, I can't, I guess when I started hunting, my biggest hurdle was finding camo that wasn't my brother's hand-me-down. Yeah, there you go.
But now, a good bit of companies make camo to fit females, which is nice. But I think, and this brings me back to the guide that was selected for me in Colorado. I think that, I mean, there were younger dudes that were way more fit that probably would have got me into a place where I might have capitalized on that hunt. But I think that they were like, oh, it's just a little girl out here by herself. We're going to stick her with. They
kind of,
I feel like I got shorted.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't taken seriously. Like I didn't put in the work, and I was very frustrated because I put in the freaking work.
And that was kind of what I was getting to, because, perspective, right? It's like how many, women maybe came out there before and hadn't taken the time to get there. So they look at you and they're like, hey, let's give somebody a little slower pace.
Yeah. And I think that's what happened. And I'm not taking anything away from that guy. He was salt of the earth, one of the nicest people I've ever met. But I wanted to get after it. I was far more ambitious. And I think that's why he might have been selected for me.
Yeah.
Because I see like there were other guys that were out there by themselves or like with their buddies, and they got guides that are like going, and I'm like,
I want to be there.
I want that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is there anything? I mean, and two, as a female getting into it, it can be intimidating.
It can be. I guess it can be. I've always I've always kind of stood in like a male dominated world. Like I got out of high school, I started working at a garage, working on cars, and I've always just been like, I don't know. I've not been, I guess, like in the feminine world. I've always kind of stood on my own and I guess like the more masculine world. And I don't find it intimidating. I just, that's home to me. Like it's like, oh, my brother can do it, I can do it. My dad can do it, I can do it.
Right.
And I just never, and I was never raised like, oh, well, you're a girl, so you should be in the house and cooking and cleaning and like, yes, I could do all those things, but I was never raised that there was a difference. Like, you should know how to change your own water heater too, Allison. So that just goes back to being capable and confident in your capabilities.
I think, which is important, right? For everybody, being capable individuals to, it's great. And for me, especially, like I lean on my wife for lots, sure. Right? She's very, very important for, I give her all the credit for any of the success that I've had in my life, because she has been somebody I can lean on when it comes to other aspects of our life. I'm able to prioritize and focus on, we'll call it business.
Sure.
Right. And, I come home and, she's taking care of stuff she doesn't have to do, right?
Yeah. But it's taken care of.
I know, and it's not saying that that's required of her to do that, sure. But she stepped up there for me.
And that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's very special to have that.
It is. And I like I said, I think it's important, and she's a very capable individual. Don't get me wrong. Yes. She can do anything that she wanted.
She's a bad Larry, man.
She is, right? She started her own business, which is very successful that she runs. She runs her business. She takes, she's always there with the kids. Yeah. She has prioritized her life around, being a mom and running a business at the same time. So she's not one either that I would ever discount. She's a very capable individual and who will let you know.
Yeah, she will. She's awesome.
Yeah. But I think it's important for everybody. I mean, men and women to experience the outdoors and learn these skills. Absolutely. And even if it's not your priority, right? But to have an understanding of it, to get out there and explore and kind of push yourself and your boundaries.
Yeah. I think that, I think it's just important to be, there's nothing worse in this world to be than helpless. Yes. I will, that's a hill I'll die on.
I'm with you 100% on that. It's something, that puts you in a position that is just that helpless. I mean, no one, I don't think there's any worse feeling.
Coming.
No one's coming.
No one's coming.
Yes. I mean, that's why it's so important to me for, physical fitness with, myself, and then see my kids and my family being involved in that, seeing that, being physically fit and being able to feed yourself properly, nutritious food and being smart and intelligent as well.
Yeah.
It all works together.
It does.
You can't have one piece of it and be set.
No, it's gotta all come together.
Yeah. It's, it's tough though.
Yeah.
So with that, like you said, that's a real hurdle, right? You maybe have been a little overlooked for your hunt, which you spent all this money on to go out west and really go hard, and you didn't get exactly what you're expecting out of it. But you're also a business owner now.
Yes.
You have your taxidermy business, which seemed to be doing really well. Yeah. You are very, very talented. I've seen the work that you've done. It's incredible. Let's talk about that a little bit. One, how did you get into that?
So I've always big love for wildlife.
Yes.
I love wildlife. And then I love art. I like to create. I like both my parents are incredible artists. My dad did fish carvings.
Really?
Fish reproduction for a while.
Wow.
Out of wood. And they're outstanding. I'll send you pictures of it.
Yeah.
It's wild. My mom's a great artist. Both of my grandparents on either side as well. And this kind of popped off with COVID being as destructive, or the fallout of COVID being as COVID itself wasn't anything, but that's another podcast. So I needed to homeschool Waylon, and I needed to work from home, and I needed to not do telework. I needed to do something that I wanted to to do. And thought long and hard about it, and I was like, yeah, this taxidermy. And I found a school in Wisconsin, and I went up there for a month and learned everything that I could learn, and came home and opened a business. That was in 21. I went to school, and then came home and was open for business that fall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah. So,
I mean, obviously, we hit on it before. It's taken away a little bit of your ability to hunt.
Yeah.
Because that's, prime time for business.
Yep.
But how's business been for you so far?
It's been good. So, I mean, when you first open the doors, you eat shit for the first couple of years. Mm-hmm. But this last season was my third official season, and my business had tripled.
Oh, wow.
In traffic. So, and I don't know how it's going to look coming from Virginia to here. I mean, I know more people here.
Right.
So hopefully I take off this season.
So I've saw some of the stuff you've done. Fish, you've done birds, you do
bobcats, bears.
Are you still doing everything? Or are you specializing or cutting back in areas and focusing on?
So I no longer want to do birds.
Okay. Why?
They're such a pain in the ass.
Are they?
Yeah.
Just very detail oriented, or?
Yeah, it's just like, and I'm not set up to like, it's called gassing the bird. You put them in like white fuel, and it makes the feathers like super shiny, and then you got to tumble them, and it's like sawdust and cob mixture, and I don't have that. I don't want to gas birds. I don't want to keep the fuel or the...
Right.
So, I don't know. And then I did turkeys. I did turkeys under the wing of another taxidermist. Like, he helped me, and they're just cantankerous birds. They are intrusively large, and you gotta take them apart, and I don't like it.
So what are you focusing on now or specializing in?
Well, whitetail is
going
to be the most of my business, and I really enjoy that. And I just finished up my first bobcat, and I posted that and got a lot of inquiries about bobcats. So actually tomorrow I've got a bobcat coming in to do tomorrow morning. Yeah.
So what's the turnaround time for you on stuff like that? Like if you don't have anything else going on and you were beginning to end, because taxidermy, whenever you hear about people, they're like, hey, I've got a 6-month wait, a 1 year, 2 year wait. What is it? Just that amount of traffic? Is it just the process?
It's the volume. So I tan everything myself, so I can tan a deer in a day. And if I have the form, which, usually I take the deer in, I cape it out completely, and then I'll wrap it back up and I'll stick it in the freezer for another 2 weeks, let all the ticks and critters die. And then I'll pull it back out and I'll flesh it and I'll tan it and get it all measured up, and then I'll make an order for the form. And then, so I don't know, I guess like start to finish, I could have it done in like a month.
One deer takes a month.
Well, yeah.
It
doesn't.
The process for.
Because there's a lot of waiting. So there's 2 weeks for all the ticks to die off.
Yeah, Eastern North Carolina,
I got bit so many times already.
Oh, I believe it.
But if I have everything, like if I were just to tan it and like have the form there, I could be done in 2 days.
Wow.
And then you got to wait for everything to dry. The rule of thumb is like 2 weeks for everything to dry. And then you do the finish work, clay work around the eyes, the nose, the mouth, paint it up, make it look pretty.
So where do you store? I mean, do you just have a bunch of freezers?
Yeah.
Like, are they walk-in freezers? Or?
No, I just got chest freezers.
Chest freezers,
yeah.
Okay.
And everything's got everybody's name on it, little, proper legal intake tags. And I wrap it up in a bag, and I write on the bag whether it's raw or tanned or...
It's a process.
Yeah.
So what are the requirements for somebody to bring an animal to you?
I need 50% down of what I charge, and then just all the legalities. I need like the confirmation number, your license number, the state you took it in. Can't bring like brains or bones or anything across state lines. So
that's pretty much the extent of
kinda it,
So
yeah.
you take stuff from out of state as well.
I can if it's caped out.
If it's caped
Yeah.
out, okay.
Yeah.
It's just got to be caped out, and then they send it to you.
Yeah, I can't have like no bones, no spinal cords, lymph nodes, or brains.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So it's all okay.
just like just the skin and then like the skull cap.
Is that for North Carolina, or is every state different when it
Every
comes?
state's different. Every state's different. Like Virginia, I couldn't even take. Like there were counties that I couldn't take from.
Really? Due to CWD.
CWD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I could get on a soapbox about that and be here till next Thursday.
Oh boy.
But
So there's a lot of things that people got to consider, especially out of state hunters, right? So
Yeah.
or if you're traveling out of state, I talked about this with JR Owen the other week about, out of state stuff and being up to date on your tags and
Yeah.
licenses and requirements, because every state is so different.
different,
You
yeah.
can really get yourself in a bind
Oh, yeah, you
quickly without realizing it.
yeah, you can
Mistakenly.
really step in the wrong direction. Like,
Yes. If you're going out of state to hunt, we highly encourage you to do your research.
yeah, absolutely. And like there's literature. Sometimes you just can't find it. Like
It's not as out there as you think it is.
you would think that they would make it abundantly obvious.
Some of it's confusing to read.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, who do I call
Yeah.
to clarify this? And there isn't anybody.
Yeah, it's
you just
very-
got to hope that you're stepping in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, because you see it more often than not. I think people that get in trouble, I don't think it's necessarily malicious.
Yeah.
It's more so like, man, I made a honest
really
mistake.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Right.
I overlooked that one.
Yeah. Whoop.
Yeah, whoops. So how is business? Is everything good?
Yeah.
Good. So you just transferred your stuff over to North Carolina. So
Yeah.
you're set,
Yep,
ready to
I'm
work.
Completely licensed, ready to go.
Good deal. So
Yeah.
and you got a bobcat coming through. That's one of the guys here, Zach. That's what he's big into. So
He messaged me.
Zach Rhodes.
Yes.
Yeah, he does a lot of trapping. Lots of
Cool.
trapping.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's one thing. I think he got this year, he trapped a really good bobcat.
I think that's the one he messaged me about. And I was in the process of doing my first bobcat. And I was like, dude, this is my first one.
Okay.
Let me do it and I'll
Yeah.
take a picture and I'll send it to you. And if you think it's good, then
Turn out good?
yeah. Yeah, it did. It did turn out good.
Yeah. I mean, do you enjoy doing the deer more than anything?
Kind of. I mean, I really liked doing this bobcat. There was a lot of sewing, and I liked the bear that I did.
As far as the bear goes, was it a full
It was a half body.
half body?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was coming out of the wall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was neat.
So do you have to do the artistic design? They're like, hey, I want to mount for this. And you're like, and they're like, hey, this is how I want it. Or do you give them ideas and like guidelines? Like, hey, we can do a shoulder mount on this with this going on.
So deer are pretty much cut and dry. They're usually always shoulder mounts. But with predators, like bear especially, they're all like different sizes. They're like well, they look like humans when you skin them out. It's creepy.
Yeah.
So like they might have longer arms and a bigger head, or like, they just come in different shapes and sizes. So depending on how that bear measures out, you can go to your catalog and be like, okay, I can put it in this one, or this one. Like these are the forms that I can order in the size of your bear.
Right. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So with you being the female in the taxidermy side, because I don't know any other female taxidermist.
Yeah.
How is that? I mean, has it been a good response for you?
It has. The feedback that I've gotten is that women in general have more attention to detail.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't had any, like, nobody's been like, oh, I'm not going to take it. Or like, are you sure you know what you're doing? Or
Standing over your shoulder.
Yeah.
So you've had a really good response then.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know all the guys around here. I mean, there's a handful already. I mean, you were up in Virginia that were just seeking you out to try to send you stuff.
Yeah, I actually, 2 deer went home last week that I've had a repeat client. This is the 4th deer that I've done for him.
Oh, wow.
So him and his boy had given me deer, and they went home to him last week. He lives down here.
Is it Michael?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah. I know there's a handful of guys because people have asked us, you know, hey, where do we go? Where do we send people? So, and this was over the last 2 years. And I'm like, well, she's out of state, but you know, you can hit her up.
So, the dad, he shot his buck in Illinois, and the son got his buck here. So I came down to pick his boy's deer up, and I caped it out while I was down here and brought it back, but now that I brought it back down here, and it was the coolest thing, because this is what I love most about what I do, is like you give that memory back, and especially like for the kids. It's like the dad sent me a picture. It was 10 o'clock at night, and it was the day that they picked up the deer. They picked him up early in the morning. It's 10 o'clock at night, and the dad sends me a picture, and the kid is in like an armchair with his shoulder mount on his lap, and I'm like, that is the coolest thing. Like,
that's awesome.
He just was so proud of that. It made my heart happy.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's very cool. I mean, because they'll cherish that forever.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Kids' first years are like,
oh yeah,
it's the coolest thing.
It is. Yeah. It is. I mean, they could care less whether it was a giant or you know whatnot. They're just stoked to have you know get it done. Essentially.
Yeah. I mean, this is a real pretty buck. He had like a black, like real dark black dorsal going down his neck, and real pretty face. But he was little. He only had like a 16-inch neck. Like, it just is what it is.
That'll
but he was happy.
That'll be in his room forever. Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, that's your first buck.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what advice would you have? I mean, for women that are interested in getting, because it's growing. It seems like I see more and more women that are interested in getting into bow hunting.
Yeah.
You know, just outdoor things in general. I mean, do you have any advice that you would give them? You know, who don't know where to even begin? It's a pretty loaded question.
It is, and that's kind of hard to navigate. I don't know. I mean, find somebody to go with. You know, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna face my own hurdles this year, because I've got some private land to hunt on, but I don't know if I could bring a friend, or I don't really care for public land around here.
It's tough around here.
It's tough, and then like you got the dogs shortly after bow season.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't really care for that either. But I think that if a woman wants to get into the outdoors, she should just do it for herself, not because her boyfriend wants her to, or if you're not into it at all, don't. Right.
Don't try to force the issue. Yeah,
and just be authentic about it. Just don't do it for likes or loves. Just do it because you love it, and if that's where your heart's at, then that's what you need to pursue.
Yeah, and people will see that too. I think
Absolutely.
that it always comes through.
Yeah, and even just go and sit in the woods. Like, get up before the sun does, and just go watch the world wake up. Yeah. See if that's where you want to be.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's special.
Absolutely. And even if you go in, like I like to hunt the evening. I've just had the best luck that way. And I've gone into the woods and pushed deer out on my way in, but like it's like throwing a rock in a pond. You know, you just sit still for long enough, all the ripples go. It's like you're not there. So.
Yeah. So what about when it comes to buying a bow? I mean, for you, because as a female, right, you're not shooting a 70-pound bow.
No,
you know, did you have any issues like finding a shop to get you set up and take you serious when you came in?
No, I didn't. Everything was pretty, and I wanted to shoot. Like my dad had always shot Bowtech, and I usually like gravitate like, oh, I know that's solid. But I was like, I didn't want to be brand loyal just because like that's what Dad shoots. So I went and I had shot, but I had like the Bowtech Rose, and then I had the Ava Shockey bow. And now what's cool is they make bows that are geared towards shorter draw lengths and a lighter pounce. You could kind of grow with that, right. And are more geared towards women. But when I sold my Ava Shockey bow, and then I wanted like a big girl bow. I didn't want a bow that was just geared towards women or children.
Right.
So, but I went to. You guys weren't an archery shop.
Yeah, this is prior to us. This is Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan's a great guy.
Yeah. I shot Matthews and Hoyt, and I just I really like the draw cycle of Bowtech, and I landed on the Realm, and that's
history right there.
Yeah,
Fred.
that's
Jesus,
it.
You still got it.
Can't put a pin in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think nowadays, and one of the things that's important for us as a shop too, is because we've seen it more and more, the amount of women that actually have a general interest, right? And a lot of it does stem from like a boyfriend or a husband gets into it, and they're like, I want to do it with him, and then it turns into a family bonding thing.
Yeah, I think that's
awesome,
fantastic.
That's how me and Sherry are, right?
Yeah.
So Sherry comes and she shoots 3D with me.
Hell yeah.
And it's fun for us to go outside and do it together, a little bit of peace. But I know, and I think things are changing, because even when I got into it, it was later in life, and it is intimidating. Going and trying something new and having no idea what you're getting into can be overwhelming, right? You don't want to go in there and look like a fool when in reality you don't. You just don't know.
You just don't know what you don't know. And I think, I think you've done a wonderful job of having like the staff that you've got here.
Thanks.
They're couldn't be more welcoming.
Yeah,
like,
that's like
just,
priority one.
You don't feel stupid when you're here.
Yes.
Like, no matter what, you dry fire your bow. It's all right.
It happens. We had a dude do it last night.
Did you?
Yes. And he took it on the chin, and because he was in here, the guys were tuning a bow for him, and he was like, "Hey, looks like it's important you put an arrow in this thing. It's in a picture, and this thing's blown up." And accidents happen. But that's one of the things.
We've all done it.
Yes, I did it before a 3D shoot one year, and I'm going to blame J.R. Owen on that because
I remember that.
He was like, I was like, dude,
we were out there waiting for you guys.
And he's like, no, you're good, man. Send it. And there's no arrow, blew it up. But
I mean, Ruben saved my ass a couple times. We were at the R100, and he's like, Allie, stop. And I was like, oh.
Well, I need that. But, it's been important for our shop here. And by no means are we perfect, right? Yeah. It's very important for me, our customer service and stuff. But we have, there's a lot of females that work in our shop.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
It is awesome.
Here.
Yes, you worked here before you moved. I mean, we've had Nikki here, and, she helped out with our classes and our summer camps, and we've got Sam now, who is an incredible tech, and she's a target guru.
Yeah.
And then we got Sarah and Raina who help with our orders and stuff. So we're a very diverse bunch here.
Yeah.
And I think it makes it a little bit easier for women to come and they see other women.
And they see other women in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's just all around welcoming.
Yes.
It's a good crowd.
It is. There's a lot of great shops out there. And I think it's important, any new archer, female, male, to go in and find a shop that does make you comfortable.
Absolutely. And shoot everything.
Shoot everything.
Because you don't know what's going to fit you. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Get the brands out of your mind.
All of it.
And go in there and just with an open mind and, pick up the bows that are set up or within your budget and let them rip.
That's important.
I think so too. And, it takes a little bit of the pressure off of you too.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I mean, I remember getting into it. I was like, I'm a dude. And I have no idea I don't even know what questions to ask.
Right.
I didn't know that bows required draw length adjustments and, all this stuff whenever I got into it. And so it was a little overwhelming. That's one of the things, we try not to hear, to answer all the questions, be very open and receptive to any, questions that people have because, the last thing you want to do is run someone off because you make them, feel stupid.
Right. And that's the worst thing.
Yes.
Like if I go somewhere and they make me feel dumb, I am not coming back.
Yes. Yeah. Same with me.
I am not coming back.
It's funny. So where can people find you if they're interested in your business? They want to follow your journey, your hunting, fishing, outdoors, homesteading. You got a lot of great information you put out. Where can they find you for both your business and your...
I'm all over social media. I'm not on TikTok. I was, and they kept taking all my videos down.
Yes, good luck with that one.
Because it's animal abuse. And I was like, it's taxidermy. Yeah. I didn't do anything to this. But whatever. Zeiselmeier Taxidermy is my business. And I'm Alison Zeiselmeier on everything else.
Oh, that's easy to find.
Yeah, it's, you type in my last name,
I'll be honest. Your last name is difficult, though.
It's intimidating, but it's like, you see it, and that's the right one.
That's it. There's only one.
Yeah, there's only one.
There's only one.
So you can't get it. You can't get it wrong.
Yes,
you can't
absolutely.
miss it.
Well, what we'll do too is we'll put a description down below. So anyone that's interested in finding you, tracking you down, all the links will be in the video below. So people can kind of check you out, check out your business, see your work, how incredible your work really is. And then all our local guys here, I'm sure, will be heading your way.
Yeah.
So as long as they get on and actually kill some stuff.
Yeah, guys, make that happen.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Keep the business going. Well, Allie, do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you've been, it's been great. It's really great catching up with you. Welcome back to Jacksonville.
Thank you.
Glad to have you back. It's great to see you back out at our 3D stuff.
Yeah, it's good to be home.
It was fun
Felt
shooting.
Good. Yeah.
That
was
It is
overdue.
good. The black hole ain't as bad as everyone thinks it is.
That's right.
So cool. We're going to wrap this thing up, and I just want to say thanks again.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys, check out the links, check out all her work. She does an incredible job if you're looking to get anything mounted, specifically whitetail deer, bear, predators, and fish.
Yeah. I don't do skin mount fish. I just do like the replicas, but I could paint some fish.
She can make it happen. She does a fantastic job. So we're going to wrap this thing up. We appreciate you guys following along. This was episode, what do we say? 10?
10.
Episode 10. So thanks again for joining us, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of the show.